But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for keeping the conversation coming. Yesterday, we got so much feedback. And because of that feedback, you asked us yesterday, how do I end up working for Safaricom? I'm a graduate, I'm a master's degree holder, I've just finished school. How do I end up working for this amazing company? So because you asked that, we thought, you know what? Let's bring together a group of amazing, cool people who work at Safaricom. But the one thing that's distinct about them, rather, is that they are very, very, very young and very excited to work for this big corporation. I will not introduce them. 4 lovely ladies with me on set. Ain't I lucky? Ladies, please introduce yourselves.
My name is Ariel Kaleji, and I'm happy to be here.
Tanya Braganza, glad to be here.
I'm Eva Chamgorem, super excited to share my journey with you.
Hey, my name is Stacey Okot, and I'm very happy to be here.
All right, so allow me to start with Tanya. Tanya, you lead this team, and you are part of the people that help bring this particular team together. Tell us, what is the Discover program all about?
Thanks. So the Safaricom Discover program is basically a management trainee program that we started in 2014. We take about 20 graduates every year, and with the sole intent of training and preparing them for future leadership roles within Safaricom. So we basically recruit from a diverse background, from data science to UX design, to IoT, to AI specialists, very diverse. And the basic role of a Discover trainee is just to learn alongside their managers and alongside various experts within Safaricom.
All right, so when you speak about recruitment, I know a lot of people watching are asking themselves, how do I get recruitment? And this is before I ask you about your recruitment journey and how you actually came on board. What does it take to be recruited into this particular program? What are you looking for?
Well, basically, 3 things what we look for in a Discover trainee. I'll start with mindset. You've got to have a very positive attitude, very positive outlook in life, because things get challenging and that's what sets you above. Second is skill set. You have to have learning agility. You have to be willing to unlearn, relearn, and learn. Basically, how to survive in a dynamic workplace. Lastly is tool set. You have to be able to teach yourself the tools that will set you apart and distinguish you as a credible, whatever it is you're aspiring to be, possibly a UX designer or a data scientist. Just those 3.
Interesting. And when you talk about these 3 things, I want to hear the stories of everybody on set today, how you ended up being, a Discover trainee. How was your story, Ariel?
So I saw an e-shot from WhatsApp that was sent to me by a friend, and actually it was on the last day of when the applications were due. Yeah. And I decided to take my shot. I applied. I said why I thought I'm a perfect fit, and I was shortlisted. Yeah.
Interesting. It sounds like, was it like composition? You may write good compositions.
No, it wasn't too complicated. To be honest, anybody can actually do it. Yeah.
All right, I like that. Eva, what about you?
I think for me, I had just graduated, so I was job hunting.
Like the rest of us?
With aggression.
Okay.
With aggression. So it wasn't a matter of this opportunity that it came to me by chance.
Yeah.
No, I was actively looking for jobs. So I saw the Safaricom Graduate Management Trainee job being advertised.
Yeah.
I saw that they were looking for someone like me, someone interested in data science, amongst other tech jobs.
Okay.
But when I saw that they also, in that group, wanted a data scientist, I applied. Of course, I had to go through the Safaricom career portal just to make sure and verify that, I needed to go to the right place. I need my CV to go to the right place. So it was just a matter of that, sending my CV online, and that was it.
All right. Like they say, the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Stacey, you were part of cohort number 1. Tell me about your journey. There was no predecessors. There was nobody to benchmark with. You guys were blank. You had no idea. Why did you apply?
Okay, that's an interesting question. Okay, so I remember it was in April of 2014, and they actually sent out the e-shots for people to make applications. So the e-shots were all around the WhatsApp groups, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, everywhere, right? And at first I was like, what's this Discover program / graduate management program, I wasn't too familiar about it, but why I loved it was because it talked about discovery and discovering yourself. Because when you leave campus, you're never too sure about what you want to do, right? Like you hear, sometimes you're influenced by people. Some of daktari, this, that, everything.
Mimi niko nataka kuwa lawyer.
Yeah, so you're never too sure. And what I liked about this is it gave me an opportunity to be able to go through various divisions and various teams to then discover what where my strengths were. Yeah, so we actually got the e-shot before graduation, but I had already gotten my results, right? So we're just waiting to graduate in August, and we're also encouraged to apply. So I sent in my application, and why I thought I was a fit candidate for the role. We went through a series of aptitude tests, personality tests, and then some face-to-face interviews. And then afterwards, we got confirmed into the jobs.
I like something that you've said when it comes to you applied, and it's very unique with all of us. But I want to know, what made you think that you are a suitable candidate? Because a lot of young people out there are looking at life from the point of, msi mwingine asha apply. Mi hata nimesomea tu exam kidogo. Mi hata sijui sikumaliza hata sikuwa number 1 kwa university or something of the sort. Why did you guys think that you're unique enough to get this particular position? And this just goes out to anybody. Why did you think you are most suitable for this particular job? Ariel.
You see, when I was starting, like Stacey has mentioned, the e-shot was quite catchy.
Okay.
It talks about you discovering yourself, discovering your talent and capabilities. And I think that's what attracted most of us. Because I'm in a position where I'm job hunting.
Yeah.
I'm looking for something to do. If I can be able to get a place where I can be able to actually be given space, and it's 18 full months of discovering yourself, learning your interest, and deciding the career path that you actually want to take, then why not? I was in a position where I'm like, let me try this. I see if I'll be taken. If I'll be taken, well and good. If I won't be taken, I have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But I'll be very guilty if I found myself in a situation where I didn't apply, and later on I'm like, what if I applied? What if I was taken? Yeah.
I like that because it shows that there's grit. There's also obviously mental power, because I know you don't apply on Tuesday and then you get feedback on Wednesday. And off camera, you guys told me about how long it would take. Eva, you are the youngest to join this particular team. How long was your journey?
My journey was quite long. I think slightly over a year. Yeah. But I don't think that's the norm, partly due to Corona, COVID-19. I think at the time when we were meant to be absorbed, Corona had just hit the country and hit the world, right? So there was a lot of trepidation, a lot of fear, not knowing what the next step was going to be. We saw how the rest of the countries were affected. We didn't know how Kenya was going to be. So it was a matter of taking it one day at a time and letting Safaricom kind of restructure how the program was going to look for us, because now we were going to be a new type of a cohort, the Corona cohort. So we couldn't do it the way the other cohorts didn't know. So we just decided, okay, let them just take their time to kind of restructure, the face of the graduate trainee program.
And what's very interesting is for everyone else here, the cohorts actually met physically. But for you, it's very unique because it had to happen digitally. What did you feel about that in terms of, did you feel it's different? Did you feel like you're not getting the attention that you deserve? How was it for you?
Yeah. Well, obviously you feel like there's no social aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because you're meeting online via Zoom, via Teams. So you don't get to meet your colleagues face to face. You don't get to go out for lunch with them or tell them good morning. You don't, get to do all these things. But Safaricom has actually catered for that.
Okay.
Most of what we're doing right now is learning how to function in this new space. They're not assuming that we know how to work in these new circumstances. No. So majority of what we're doing at the moment, just entering, is learning how to work remotely, communicate remotely, even learn remotely, even up to the point where we need to even learn how to learn remotely and interact with each other remotely. So we're going through that process. I think if it was completely cold turkey, it would have been a lot more frustrating. But we're taking it one day at a time.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Stacey, let me talk to you about something. So when you mentioned your story to me earlier, and I know a lot of you relate to me when it comes to this, my first internship job, right? I got an internship job at this particular organization, and my primary responsibility was to serve tea. Yes, that was my primary responsibility. Fresh from school with a degree, but waliniambia job yangu ni kuserve chai. And I've heard that story with so many other people. How interns are not given opportunities to grow. Interns are not given opportunities to find out or discover themselves when it comes to what are their key competencies, how far can they go when it comes to career. Stacey, you joined as a trainee, and your rise has been meteoric. If I was you, if you were me in my particular job, you'd be probably a chef, because you'd have served so much tea. But you've been able to do so much in such a short time. And I want you to talk to somebody that's out there that, well, when you start here at Safaricom, they give you an opportunity. They give you a shot to play with the best and actually be the best.
Okay. I'm so sorry that you had to serve tea, but at least you did something right.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, fine. So Safaricom is different. On your first day here as a graduate management trainee, you're not expected to serve tea or sweep floors. The good thing is, so you are posted to different teams to work with, and usually you report to the senior leadership team. And why they do this is so that you can be able to learn from the leadership, and so that you can be able to also get challenging tasks that will help you grow. As Tanya said, you have to learn, but you also learn on the job. You have to do assignments that give you long-lasting experience. So it's not just reading a book or watching people the whole day. You have to immerse yourself in the work. So for me, I started off as a management trainee. Right now, my role is a senior manager in strategy. After 6 years of being in Safaricom, so I've held quite a number of roles. And what I love about this company is they give you as much as you want to learn. There's so much to learn. Honestly, it's endless. And there are so many professionals who are very good at what they do. So if you reach out to them and you work with them and get the right mentors and coaches, then you're also able to accelerate your learning and your growth. So after the management training program, I was supposed to go to technology. But then I discovered that I actually love business and I love entrepreneurship. And I felt my calling in financial services, right? So I joined in the product management team and started doing products. I launched the M-Pesa app, Bamba Airtime for M-Pesa agents. I was able to do the strategy for Ethiopia for mobile money. And then towards now, my later stages in product management, I was the product lead of Fuliza M-Pesa, which then I was able to launch successfully. Then afterwards, I went to other teams, right, to try and experience more to what this company can offer. So I joined the Chief Customer Office as a senior business manager and worked with so many teams across the company, over 12 teams in digital, in marketing, in regional sales, in customer operations, etc. Then after that, went into strategy, right? And that's what I'm currently doing. And what I would say is it just requires a lot of hard work. It requires you to find what your passion is, because when you find your passion, you don't really have to work a day in your life, honestly. It becomes very, very natural and very fulfilling. Yeah, but it definitely takes a lot of hard work. It takes you to say that you don't know and you don't know.
Yeah.
Don't always pretend to know everything. And you need to learn. You need to be humble. You need to ask people, how did you do that? How can I do this? And with that and hard work and doing what you want to do, then that's the right formula for success.
Tanya, let me go to you. Maybe somebody's watching from Turkana, from Kisumu, Mombasa, Isiolo, Kilifi, Nairobi, Entebbe, America. Do you guys only pick people from Nairobi? Because there's usually that misconception that Safaricom iko Nairobi. headquarters iko Nairobi, you can't fit in. Or how is your recruitment spread across different regions of this particular country?
No, we don't just recruit from Nairobi or from Kenya. We're able to advertise for the openings in various digital platforms. Yeah. As you've heard from the ladies, they saw the e-shot on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn. So we're able to reach Kenyans in diaspora as well as the gentleman in Turkana or the lady in Kisumu. And that's why this program sits at the heart of our purpose to transform lives. Because you can imagine the boy in Turkana whose his dream his whole life has been to come to Nairobi and work for Safaricom. He's able to save bus fare to travel to Nairobi, interview with us, and then he gets to know that he got the job. We literally changed his life, and for the better. So no, we are able to reach Kenyans everywhere.
I have a particular question because from the outside world, people think differently when it comes to working for Safaricom. I want your personal experiences since probably your day one. How is it working for Safaricom? You walked into the building, use your key card, you're in the building. Unajua, unasikia tu fuliza everywhere, and everything. How is it working for Safaricom?
Okay. So at first I thought Safaricom was all about calls and data and M-Pesa and hardcore technology, And being a person who didn't have a background in technology as such, I felt a bit stressed because it meant I needed to learn twice as fast as my peers so that I could be able to get to where they were. But when I came here, I realized there's so many departments, so many divisions that do so many things that are not necessarily technology, and they were able to accommodate me as a person. And that made me excited because it meant that I can try out so many different things and finally settle on something that I felt I'm passionate about. One of the things that I was really excited about is the fact that I didn't have to wear official clothes every single day. For young people, I'm sure they will understand that that's amazing. I can come to work with jeans and nobody will ask me. I mean, that's amazing. Okay. And the other thing that I really loved about Safaricom is the benefits that come along with it. It's not just your salary. There's an amazing,
salary.
A good salary, yeah. Kuna salary, and it's good compared to most places where if you're a beginner, what you're paid as a beginner in most of the places. We have a very good medical cover. You are given airtime, you're given a phone. I don't have to buy a phone. You're given a laptop. We have very different ways to thrive. We have a gym. You can join clubs. If you can sing, there's a choir. And I felt like it helped me also to balance my life in that I don't just need to work, but there are also other things that I can be able to do just to make sure my mental health is okay, physically I'm okay and all that. And to me, I felt it gave me value as a person.
Eva, you came in courtesy of the COVID cohort, like you like to call it now. Talk to me about your boss. Probably, I don't know if you've met your boss physically. What's your relationship between you and your boss? And then also talk to me about, generally, the relationship you have with friends. Do you have friends already? How is it so far for you?
Yeah, thank you for that. First of all, no, I've not met my boss yet. I'm still very new. But we will meet them eventually. I think, but so far, because we're on the onboarding process, we've met specialists in Safaricom who are simply helping us onboard the induction process. We are going through products and services, going through business development, and all those things. So far, what I've learned is that people are super passionate about what they do. That is something that goes across everything. It's like someone can come with like, this is M-Pesa. Do you know how awesome M-Pesa is? And you're like, wow, I never knew someone could have so much passion for M-Pesa and the services that this company offers. So that's one thing. The second thing is my colleagues. We have met, unfortunately, through Zoom, or fortunately, because at least we get to work from home, which is comfortable. One thing I've discovered from them is that we're such honest people.
Yeah.
And I think that's the culture that Safaricom has, even with its employees. Very honest with each other. If we have an issue, we voice it out and we make it a point to say, this is what I'm struggling with. I need help with this. And the help will always come like that. It will come with a quickness, a very quickness. And yeah, I think that's what I love about Safaricom. Funny enough, the face of Safaricom matches the employee culture. Very honest, very transparent. You'll be very comfortable, and there's no reason to play corporate politics.
Okay.
There's no reason. You'll realize that when you get here. Everyone is pretty open.
All right. Finally, and in the spirit of honesty, Stacey niko nafuliza. So, but anyway, Stacey, what would you say to that young lady that is very pessimistic about joining Safaricom in terms of, do I need to know someone? That's the first one. And then also, when it comes to women in leadership, especially tech, what would you tell that lady that is watching you right now and they're like, I want to be you. I aspire to be where you are, but I just don't feel like I'm confident enough to be where you are. What would you tell that particular person?
Okay. It's an interesting question. Okay. So the first thing I'd say is, in my experience, the dots always connect backwards. What I mean by that is, as you sit here and wonder whether you can apply to this, be that person, you're never ever sure. Like who amongst us was ever sure what they'd be doing 5 years ago? No one is sure. And even as I was applying, I was very doubtful. After you finish an aptitude test, you see the results, you're like, they're definitely not taking me. 3 days later, the call comes in. So there is everybody has their portion, right? And whatever is meant to be yours will be yours, but you have to work hard for it. If you tell yourself, I won't get it so I won't apply, you've already dismissed yourself even before you've entered the room, right? And I always believe in being your biggest fan. Even if you're not sure, even if you're shaking, you're thinking, sweating or whatever you're doing, apply, always go for it. And don't ever stop your dreams before even trying to pursue them. So what I would say is apply, go chase after your dreams. We're never sure what will be even in 10 years' time. But every year you become smarter and you're able to make better decisions. And so wherever you are, you just need to make the first step, So, and I'd say that dream big, dream big. What's the problem with that? Who's going to beat you up? Nobody, Dream big and chase after big visions. Because if you only want one thing, that's what you get. But if you dream about 1 billion things, you'll even get 1 million, So I'll encourage you to dream big. You can be whoever you want to be. It doesn't mean that you have to have a certain background or that you have to have certain things for you to be able to join here or even pursue other dreams that you have. What I would say is just do it. Push yourself and allow yourself to imagine yourself being there. In terms of women in leadership, I think the world is changing now, right? And more women are starting to get into leadership. It's not just a male-dominated field as it used to be. And interestingly enough, the biggest sponsors are actually also male, right? And there's a lot of encouragement now. When you have a big company like Safaricom, you need to have the people represent Kenyans, the Kenyans that are there. So if women are like 50-something% or 50%, then you also need 50% women in the company and also 50% leaders who are women to be able to make better decisions, right? So I will encourage you that it's all possible, right? And there are people who are also there to support. So apply and chase after your dreams, and you'll actually be surprised at what you can achieve.
If I can just chime in into what Stacey said, you're never alone in this journey. We have a huge support group. We have a pool of coaches and mentors. So there's always people walking this journey with you, guiding you through, holding your hand. And if they're not available, we have a massive online platform, Safaricom Business School, where you can just get in and access courses on anything, hard skills, more human skills, leadership skills. So you're never alone in this journey.
All right, so you're never alone in this journey. A lot of stuff that I've heard from this particular panel is, first things first, believe in yourself. Second thing, apply when that time comes, when the call to application is made. Please usiogope, tafadhali, apply. Then finally, if you have a question for this particular panel, please hit the chat box they are more than willing to ensure that you get your answers there.